Hey you guys, it's Amy here. I wanted to share with you, my cousin reached out to me and she has a Jack and Jill to go to this weekend. And she asked me a while ago if I would make her a canvas for one of the raffle prizes. So I told her no problem. Well, it like snuck up on me, so and she's like, oh, I'm gonna come pick it up Friday. So I totally forgot all about it. She brought it up, I'm like, oh, that's right. But I knew that I could pull something together really fast and really nice. So I worked on this all day on Sunday. It took me about 6 hours, but she really likes it, and I can't wait for whoever wins it to put it on their wall. So first things first, this canvas is an 11 by 14 canvas. It's one of the canvases I got from that huge tag sale, scrapbooking tag sale that I went to back in April, I believe. No, August. Maybe it was April. I don't even know. But I'll let you guys know when that tag sale comes around again. It's layered. It's got paper underneath it. I use I think it's the King Company cut and paste paper. You can't really see it. And then I use like old, like vintage music note paper in the back. And I cut out some flowers right here from the cut and paste paper. And then I Mod Podged some doilies here that you can't really see, but you can, I don't know if you can see them pretty good. But they're Mod Podged in there. There's still strands of glue. And then I went over this. I kind of inked it up with my barn door and my tea dye stain from Tim Holtz. I inked it all up and it just seemed too vibrant for me, so I had to like tone it down a little bit. So I went over the whole thing after I glued everything down and whatnot. I went over everything with gesso. But before I put everything down, I inked it. Then I did the modeling, or no, I did all the modeling paste, which I use is this light modeling paste. It's really light. Like, it's not like thick like your like the other one is. This is like really light stuff. And I went over that. You can see I used the doily there, and then I used the honeycomb, and then I used this flower print right here, if you guys can see that. It's all over here too, but it's hard to tell. And I think this is the one that I used, pretty sure, because it's with my stuff that I washed. And I used, here's the honeycomb. This is by TPC Studios. You can get these at any craft store or scrapbook store. And then I used this doily one. Can you guys see it? So I used that up here, and then I used it up in the corner up here. Those are really fun to work with. If you guys haven't worked with modeling paste and stencils and stuff, they're so fun. They give your page, like, or your artwork, like, so much dimension. I mean, it just adds to it. They look so awesome. So that's when I went over it. After I did that, I let that dry for a little bit. I used my heat tool and let it dry. And then I went over it with my Tim Holtz ink and inked it all up with the the barn door and the tea dye. But like I said, it was too bright, so I toned it down and I went all over it with gesso. And this is the gesso, and it covers pretty much anything. I love this stuff. It's the best. So that's what I did. I let that all dry. I went over it with gesso, and I went on the sides over here, and then on the top, you can tell. So then I took all my embellishments and I kind of like just played with them, and just to see what I was gonna do and whatnot. But I was going in a whole nother direction with this canvas. I was gonna go complete vintage, but I completely turned it around. It just went a whole nother way. So it ended up with this, which I really like, and I love how it came out. So this little saying right here, life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but learning to dance in the rain. This little quote is from a Tim Holtz stamp set. This one right here. And this is Good Thoughts. And there's the little number if you're interested in purchasing this. A lot of cute little sayings on here, and that's the one I used. And I found this little card, and I just cut it up to make it fit, and then I gessoed it on the side to like blend in. And for everything that's put down, I use hot glue and I use E6000, so it's not going anywhere, because this stuff like holds your stuff to the item very well, and with the glue it just kind of bonds together. So that's what I used. And then for these little washers right here, I don't know if you guys remember my last video, I'll put a link below. I went and got a bunch of like hardware stuff at my sister's house for my Pepe's workbench that he had, and she was laughing at me because she's like, what are you gonna do with all this stuff? I'm like, you'll see. And this is what I did. And what I did was I painted it with gesso, and then I went over it with like because it was nasty, then I went over it with like gold rub and buff, and then I let that dry for a little bit, and then I went over a little bit again with gesso, and then I used some StazOn with a stamp that I have. Let me grab this stamp and I'll show you which one I used. This one is by Hampton Arts, and it's just called Butterfly Collage, and I used this one. I love the print and I love the butterflies on it, so I just stamped right on that washi right there, or the washer. I'm saying washi. I'm thinking of washi tape. All on the washer. And I did the same thing for this one too, the smaller one. And then this flower here, I have leaves. I'll show you those leaves too in this flower. For that leaf, it was green. I sprayed it brown with some leather Tattered Angels, the Glimmer Mist. I sprayed it, and I used these leaves here that I have by Prima, and you'll see that it's completely brown, and I added a little bit of gesso on it to just tone down the brown a little bit, because I kind of wanted like this and these to stand out. So this one here was sprayed. These were the flowers in here, the Recollections, and that flower was this color right here. You guys can see. And I wanted it darker, so I sprayed it with the Glimmer Mist called Scarlet, and I just love how that one turned out. Came out awesome. And this flower here is a Recollections flower. It had jewel and everything, and I just gessoed that up completely. It was brown, and I didn't want it that brown, so like I said, sorry my video got cut off. So I used this little bird cage that I got from, it's by Recollections, and it's by, I was going to use this lamppost, but my husband's like, go do the bird cage. So he helps me out a lot when, like, finding like colors and stuff. So I used the bird cage. And then for these things right here, these wispy little doodads, these flower things, these are also by Recollections, and I got these a while when they were on sale at Michael's. I think this is a different style. Let me grab, there's like a whole bunch of them. Yeah, this is the one that I used right here. I think these are the ones that I got like 90% off, so I got a whole ton of these when they were really, really cheap. So I used these. I used two of them. I was going to use a red one and a white one, but I didn't like how it looked, so I used two reds because I liked how there was like red. It'd bring out a little bit of the red in the canvas, in the paper that I have back there. So I figured I'd just use the red. And then These, they're already like curled at the bottom, so I just kind of adjusted them myself. You can see that they're all curled at the bottom. I kind of adjusted them myself, and I added some gesso on the branches and stuff. Not much, just a little. And then for this thing here, this was another thing from my sister's cellar, from my Pepe stuff. Like I said, I did a video on all that hardware that I found. This was like green. I'll show you what it looked like before. This is what it looked like before. The green. And then I gessoed it. I did pretty much the same thing I did to this as I did to the washers. And then I added some Rub and Buff. If you guys don't know what Rub and Buff is, that's really fun to play with. And here is the gold, and all you need is a teeny weensy little bit, and it goes such a long way. Like, this stuff is awesome. And it can go on metal. It looks awesome on metal and everything. So that's what it looks like. And then I put the Rub and Buff, and then I went over it a little bit with some more gesso. I use my fingers for everything. Don't be afraid to get dirty and stuff, but I use my fingers for everything. I had to go to the doctor's yesterday, and my hands were still covered in like paint and everything. So my hands were like disgusting. I'm like, sorry. I do wash my hands, but I'm like, I was painting and stuff and playing in my craft room. So he was like, oh, that sounds like fun. But, and then this jewel thing right here was from these things that I had gotten. When they were 99 cents. I picked up a whole ton of them. So I have all different recollections things here. And then the ones that I had opened, they're on the bottom there. So that's what I used for this little thing here. I was gonna use like some brads right here, but I decided to leave it. Just leave it alone. I don't know if it looks unfinished. I don't know. I may add something there. I don't know what I might do. We'll see. But like I said, my cousin's not picking this up until Friday. So I might actually add, I might run to Hobby Lobby and get a couple little, I need like a couple metal brads. But we'll see. I don't think I'll have time today because I got to go to the gym. Oh, and this paper here, there's two like layers behind here, behind this paper. And what I did was I kind of like split it, and then I rolled it, and I hot glued, like this ain't going nowhere. And I hot glued, it's hard as a rock, as I was rolling, and just kept it that way, just so you can see the doilies in the background there. So anyway, that is my canvas. I'll come out a little bit. Don't mind my messy desk. It was really fun to make. And I have a couple other projects in mind that I'm working with. And I have like a couple Christmas ornaments I want to make. Anyways, I will let you guys go. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions regarding this, like anything that I did to it, let me know, message me or whatever, and I can explain to you in detail and stuff. So anyways, I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Bye guys.